What's up, family? Welcome back to yet another exciting episode of Yes Chef. I'm your host, as always, Big Chef Dro. So a couple of years ago, I made a video on gumbo, and I thought I did a really good job. And it had a lot of mixed reviews. Some people were upset because I used the word Cajun and Creole, and they felt I shouldn't have done this or I shouldn't have done that. And here's what I'm going to say about that. I apologize. I don't want to offend anybody on this channel. I want to be respectful of your traditions, of your cuisines, of your history, and I want to do it in a way that is acceptable to all. So I'm just going to call this my take on gumbo. And I know gumbo means okra and we're not using okra, but again, it's my gumbo. And we're going to throw some lobster in there on this one. So to all you Cajuns, to all you Creole folks, and to all the people of New Orleans and the great state of Louisiana, please accept my humble apology. So come on in, everybody. Let's cook. All right, family, welcome back. Let's go ahead and get into all of the ingredients that we have here. Now, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to go ahead and put the measurements down in the description so that you can go ahead and copy and paste and have everything there. But now, the instructions, you're just gonna have to follow along. So I'm gonna run through all of the ingredients real quick, not gonna give you any type of measurements, just so we can make this a little bit easier. All right, so first things first, starting out, here we have some paprika. Right there we have some cayenne pepper, black pepper, some dry parsley. I have my Chef Paul Prudhomme's Blackened Redfish Magic. Here I have the gumbo filet. This is what you use when you don't have or when you don't want to use okra, which we're not going to be using that. So we have our Worcestershire sauce. We have some minced garlic. We have some granulated garlic. And then here we have our Tony Chachere's no salt. Let me stop right there. Tony Chachere's no salt. You can use 3 to 4 teaspoons and you can make it as hot as you want, as mild as you want, as long as you have the no salt. If you can't find Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning with no salt, then what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to use the one with salt, but you can't use this much. It'll absolutely destroy your dish, okay? If you're gonna use, if you have the Tony Chachere with salt in it, probably use a tablespoon or 2, okay? I think I have like 4 tablespoons in here, and because I want a little heat on it, okay? Now, with that being said, I do have some salt. Don't know how much I'm going to use. I have some chicken stock here, and then here I have some fish stock. Now, you can use seafood stock, you can just use all chicken stock, you can use vegetable stock, whatever type of stock fits your needs, but I'm gonna do a 50-50 mix of chicken and fish stock. I usually use seafood stock, haven't been able to find it, but fish stock is absolutely good. Fish stock is very fishy, so just remember that, okay? We got some scallions. I'm gonna just chop up the green part. We have our thyme. I usually use dry thyme, but since I have some of this left over from an event the other day, I'm gonna use this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tie this up and I'm going to, what do they call it, a bouquet, and just drop it off in there, let it get flavor, so I'll be able to easily fish it out when I'm done. I usually do some bay leaves as well. I don't have any. I don't feel like going to find any, so whatever. And then we have some celery here and some onions, some bell peppers, red, orange, and green. Here we have our andouille sausage, and then we have our flour and our oil. And the oil is 1 1/4 cup. And so we have the same amount for the flour as well. Then I have my lobsters. I have a whole cooked lobster that I'm going to use, and then I have a few of these cold water lobster tails, and then I have some blue crabs. Let me get those for you real quick so you can see those. I was going to get the live crabs, but I didn't feel like messing with them. So fortunately, they had the cleaned blue crabs in there, and they were like $7 a pound. So this was a pound. So I paid about $8 for a pound of the blue crabs. Now you can use any crab you want, okay? I'm gonna use these blue crabs. Okay, so we got all that out of the way. Let's go ahead and get started. We've started taking this thing here loose, and let's show you. We're gonna go ahead and just take that little bit off right there. So this is one of the best ways to go ahead and extract the meat from the tail. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and lift that up, and then we'll just take that bad boy right on up out of there. See how easy that was? All right, so this one here doesn't want to come off, and I don't want to tear it because I want this to be a part of my thumbnail. All right, there it is right there. Just a nice little pressure, nothing major. This is already cooked, so I want to be careful with this one. Okay, I want it to be whole. I want to use it for the thumbnail, or you've already seen that, so. All right, family, I got my Martha Stewart Dutch oven. So this is 7 quart. This is a 7-quart Dutch oven. Now, it's been on for a little minute. Kind of want the oil to be a little warm. And you want to go ahead and start getting this flour in here as soon as possible, because you don't want this to be too hot as you're trying to put it in. And it's good to have you a whisk handy as well. Go ahead and get all of that smooth out. All right, so once all of the flour is smoothed out, you're good to go. Now, I am going to put this on a medium low. Okay, now it's going to take a little longer, but this is, if you don't know how to do this, I would suggest a medium low. Okay, if you're pretty skilled and you know what to do, I guess you can turn it up a little higher. So the oil and flour roux that is used for gumbo, man, this stuff is like molten lava. You do not want any of this stuff to get on you, okay? Now, I'm using a flat handle spoon because this way I can move all of the flour around. It takes some time for the flour and the oil to combine and emulsify together. So that's why you want to keep it moving, okay? You can go to some different stages. What we're going to do is we're going to get this thing nice and brown, almost like a chocolate, melted chocolate color, okay? So around this time, you're going to have to apply just a little pressure to make sure that the flour is not sticking to the bottom of the pan here. As you can see, there is, the flour is really starting to stick to the bottom as it gets hotter. But that's why we're constantly moving it, constantly. And we got to scrape that bottom pretty good so we can get it out of there before it starts to stick, because that is a surefire way to burn your roux. All right, so as you see, we're starting to get a color of like a milk chocolate color. It's starting to come together pretty good. And this thing is going to start just getting darker and darker and darker as we go. All right, family, so this is about where I'm okay with it being. And I'm going to go ahead and drop my onions off in here. Now, these onions are going to start a hell of a splash once I start putting them in there. If you're when you do your onions and your bell peppers, you want to cut them by hand with a knife. You don't want to put them in a shredder or a blender or a processor, because that's going to extract the water and bring it to the surface. And if you put water in here, it's going to go crazy. Now, you're going to get a little craziness right here, but not as much as you would if you would put this stuff in a blender. So do not put your peppers or your celery or your onions in a blender. Just cut them by hand, have them ready to go, all right? So this is like a dark chocolate. This is the dark roux that I am looking for right here, okay? Now, once we get these onions in here, all of this is going to level out the roux itself. And again, be careful. This is like molten lava, okay? So be very careful with this. All right, so here we go. All right, let's go ahead and get our peppers. And our celery off in here as well. All right, so going in with the garlic. All right, so as I said, just a dump and go after you get the roux done and all mixed up. So we've been, going at it with the onions and bell peppers and celery and garlic for a while, about 3 minutes maybe. So we're gonna go ahead and just start putting our seasoning in there. And now you can put it in any kind of way that you want, okay? And be careful, because you're gonna start sneezing here. Go ahead in with that Worcestershire as well. We got ourselves something here, folks. Let this, go ahead and let this cook off a little bit. All right, so we're gonna start putting our stock, fish stock first. There we are. All right. Now, we're gonna let all of this just come to a boil. We'll go ahead, drop our dried parsley off in there. We'll go ahead and put our thyme off in there as well. And we are going to cover, let it come to a boil. We'll probably let it go for about, once it comes to a boil, we'll let it go for about another 30 to 45 minutes, okay? So we'll be back when we're ready. All right, fam, so I I just went to cook up the chicken. We got chicken in this as well. And I'm so sorry, it was in the refrigerator. So we have chicken in here as well. So get my pan a little hot, and then just gonna throw these in there. They're not seasoned. Our gumbo is gonna have some good seasoning to it. So I don't think we need to put any seasoning on this. So we'll just cook this off real quick. All right, since these are done, I'm gonna go ahead and take them out and put them in this bowl right here. And then you know what? I am going to, I'm gonna deglaze this. I'm gonna deglaze this. I'm gonna deglaze this pan. All right, so now that we have, have this all reduced, I'm gonna go ahead and throw it off in here, okay? You know, go ahead and throw it off in there. And then we can get a little, just a little oil, a little bit, and we can get our andouille sausages off in there as well, okay? All right, let's go ahead and transfer these over with the chicken. All right, let's pour that off in there as well. We want to get as much flavor as we possibly can. All right, so now we have that out of the way. We're just going to wait for the gumbo to start boiling, and we'll be back. All right, family, we are ready to go. We have been going for about 20 minutes, and I think we are right where we need to be. I'll go ahead. You know what? No, I'll leave it. No, I won't. I'll take it out. I'll take it out. Get this out of the way. It's been in there long enough. It's okay. And then let's go ahead and get our gumbo filet in there. We'll get that in there, let that roll around. we'll add our juices along with our chicken and our andouille sausage. Get those bad boys off in there. And again, we're not going to put the cooked lobster in until the very, very end, because it's already cooked. We don't need it cooking anymore. Then let's start putting our nice little blue crabs off in there. All right, family, so we're just gonna put this top back on here. We're gonna cook this on a nice medium low for about another 10 minutes. That should be enough time for that lobster to cook off and those crabs to cook off as well. So once 10 minutes is up, we'll go ahead, we're gonna turn this off and then add that cooked lobster meat in there. And then we'll be back for the taste testing. I had to sit down for this one. This is epic. Man, I am telling you, I'm just gonna go ahead and just flex me a little of this rice and some lobster, and get a little sausage off in there as well. Right. As soon as it hits your tongue, it's like, man, flavors are everywhere. Oh man. That's some flavor right there. That is some flavor right there. I'm sorry. You know what? I've lost my manners. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go in for one more bite. And it's got a nice little kick to it too. Ooh, if you want to hold back, that's on you. You can get it as spicy as you want. Let me tell you right now. This is a damn good gumbo recipe. Damn good. Listen, I don't know if it's Cajun. I don't know if it's Creole. I don't know what to call it. It's just my gumbo. So, folks, look, I gotta let y'all get out of here. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you got some value out of this content. And if you did, before you leave out of here, go ahead and hit that like button. It just helps me out, helps the algorithm out, lets people know that they're engaged with this particular video. Because, man, I tell you, recipes like this don't come along all the time. I really, really did that one. Hey, and don't forget, if this is your first time and you want to be a part of the family, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to turn your notification bells on. That'll ensure that you're up to date on everything that we are doing right here on Yes Chef. So I'm going to go ahead and put the other gumbo video up on the button so you can go check that out too. Go ahead over there. It's good too. Well, folks, that's all I have for you today. Until the next time we see you, until the very, very next video. As always, family, peace.